Harry Movie Club, it's me Jenny, and Alan's pick this week was Jurassic Park. And before I start this review, I have to say that this isn't a nostalgia flick for me, this isn't a childhood classic. I didn't watch this film in full, I'd watched clips here and there until I was 19, in fact almost to the day 2 years ago. The reasons for that? Because I was terrified of dinosaurs as a child. I fast forwarded Fantasia the dinosaur sequence every single time when I was little, and I didn't watch Land Before Time until Harry Movie picked it a couple of months ago. So watching this as an adult, without that sort of nostalgia glaze, I can 100% recommend this film. It is the classic that everyone says it is. It deserves every accolade it got. It's so well done. The fact that the CGI and animatronics hold up even to this day. Yes, you could do better nowadays, but the fact that it's so close and still has that sense of wonder and fear that juxtaposes itself all the way through this film and affects me even as an adult is so well done. I've got to give points to the direction, I've got to give points to the production value. It's so brilliant in this. Just the way that the dinosaurs are handled is just so well done. I cannot fault it. The fact that during the tension scenes, particularly the scene in the kitchen, the dinosaurs are somehow still terrifying, despite the fact that you've already seen them, you already know what they look like, they're on screen. And usually what happens with monster films or scary films, as soon as you reveal the evil entity in its full capacity, it loses the fear factor, but somehow in this they managed to keep those dinosaurs absolutely terrifying. And watching as an adult, it's still scary. Similarly, the sense of wonder in this, the only thing that I regret about not watching this film younger is the fact that when they have the first sequence where you see the dinosaurs for the first time, it has all the reaction shots and then it pans round and you see the dinosaurs for the first time and the music builds in that beautiful, iconic way. I'm not going to sing it, but you all know the theme. And there is that sense of wow, that sense of wonder that as a child I wish I'd had the courage to watch this film just for that sense of wonder as a child, because it was so well directed and just brilliantly handled. The fact that you can have those reaction shots which could be slightly over the top and yet it's not an anticlimax, you still get that sense of wonder even watching it 20 years later when the CGI has aged. It's still so well directed that you get that wow feeling. The music is incredible in this. The whole sound design in this is actually incredible. It's one of the best parts of this film. I can see why it got a load of awards, because the way that the sounds of the dinosaurs are handled, the way that the background noises are handled, so it's tense in the right places. It's got some very horrific moments which are completely coordinated with the sound effects, so you get that real building of tension. It's very high action, it's very high adventure, and it's scary in the right places. And it's really scary in the right places. I did really enjoy this film. When it comes to acting, I think the acting in this is really good. I know that recently Steve Zaragoza did a list of the top most annoying kids in film, and I can't really agree with him on this. Yes, the kids are annoying at points. Some of their lines are incredibly annoying, but they feel very real to life. They feel like a lot of kids that I knew when I was younger and a lot of kids that I see nowadays. They don't feel forced, and in fact the sequence after the car has fallen off the road has got some of the best child acting I have seen in a lot of films. He left us, and it's so well done, it's so well projected, and I cannot give enough points to that moment because that is such a human moment. And also the I threw up line, and it says so much about children, the fact that they're still worried about being told off more than about the reality of their situation, and it's very humanising and it's just brilliantly well done, and those kids do such a great job in this. I can't actually fault them really. If they have bad lines, it's due to the script, not due to their performance. I think they both did an extraordinarily good job in this. Sam Neill in this, I think his acting's pretty good. I think his character's very well put together. He's very flawed. He clearly, he has a lot of fears and a lot of things holding him back. He's very specialised in his field of study, so he doesn't really have far to go. And it definitely, with the introduction scenes to his character, you get to know that he's not comfortable with children. He's not perhaps comfortable with heights, and there's a lot of things that he has to push his boundaries on, and then in the course of this film you see him push his boundaries, and it's really, really well handled. I like the fact that Grant and Ellie, their characters in terms of their costume designs, they look like they fit together. They're both wearing the same sort of colour scheme. She's obviously more feminised, but they're wearing the same sort of colours, the same sort of fabrics, the same sort of setup, just she's wearing a more feminised version of his outfit. They're wearing the same colour scheme, so they look constantly, even when they're not on screen together, like they fit together and belong together, and it's really well done. It's very subtle, just a way of building the characters together. Similarly, the children are wearing sort of, not quite so much, but almost mini-me versions of the outfit. Lexi is wearing sort of purple, so she kind of blends the pink and the blue, and it's very well handled. It's not so subtle in places, but I think it's subtle enough just to get you a sort of family feeling, despite the fact they're not actually related in this. Similarly, Jeff Goldblum's character wears such a distinctive outfit. It's so different from anything else that anyone else is wearing, and I don't particularly like his character. He's probably the Helen of Troy to this disaster film, because everything he says, it's true. He is kind of saying a prophecy for what happens about this. Everything that comes out of his mouth in the course of the first half of this film, it's very, very true and comes to pass. But he does it in such an annoying, self-centered, sleazy and kind of self-righteous way that even if you did understand what he's saying, and he does it in such a convoluted, condescending way that you don't necessarily understand what he's saying, but even if you do understand what he's saying, you don't really want to listen because he's annoying. And I'm usually not that vicious on characters, but he's just, he seems to be a character that is developed to be disliked, and then he has a hero's moment. And he is saved by that hero's moment, although God knows why he has to spend the rest of the film with his shirt off. It's just, it doesn't feel like it should fit into this film. But, you know, his character is necessary in its own right, and, you know, he does, I think when he comes back later in one of the other films, he does develop more of an interesting character. So he's a very, very effective Helen of Troy. Richard Attenborough does a great job in this as well. His accent slips a bit, but he does a great job. Overall, this film is so iconic. It's so very iconic. The Jurassic Park symbol that gets floated throughout this film, it's just, you can't deny that you have seen it. It's just a really, really well done classic, and I would 100% recommend it. And I've rambled on for way freaking too long. I'm going to stop filming now. Feel free to comment, like, do all the things you normally do. And I will see you all possibly next week. Bye guys.